Have you ever wondered how Islam first arrived in the Indian subcontinent? It wasn't through peaceful merchants or wandering mystics, but through a dramatic military campaign that would change the course of history. This is the story of the Arab conquest of Sindh, a tale of pirates, politics, and a teenage general who achieved the impossible. Our story begins in the early 8th century. The Umayyad Caliphate, based in Damascus, was one of the largest empires the world had ever seen, stretching from Spain in the west to Central Asia in the east. But one region remained tantalizingly beyond their grasp: the wealthy and powerful kingdom of Sindh. Located in modern-day Pakistan, Sindh was ruled by Raja Dahir, a Brahmin king who had seized the throne from a Buddhist dynasty. His kingdom was prosperous, controlling key trade routes and boasting a formidable army. For years the Arabs had launched sporadic raids by sea, but Dahir's forces had always repelled them. The border was a stalemate. Then, an incident occurred that would light the fuse of war. A ship carrying gifts and the families of deceased Arab merchants from Ceylon, or modern-day Sri Lanka, was sailing back to the Caliphate. As it passed the port of Dabal in Sindh, it was attacked by pirates. The cargo was plundered, and the passengers were taken captive. When news reached the powerful governor of the eastern provinces, Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, he was furious. He sent a letter to Raja Dahir, demanding the immediate release of the captives and the return of the stolen goods. Dahir's reply was dismissive. He claimed he had no control over the pirates and could do nothing. For Al-Hajjaj, this was not just an insult. It was a direct challenge to the authority of the Caliphate. He saw it as the perfect justification for a full-scale invasion, something he had likely been planning for some time. Initial punitive expeditions failed, only strengthening Dahir's confidence and fueling Al-Hajjaj's resolve. He knew this conquest required a different approach. He needed a brilliant commander and a massive, well-equipped army. And he found his commander in the most unlikely of places: his own family. He chose his nephew and son-in-law, a young man named Muhammad ibn Qasim, at just 17 years old. Ibn Qasim was already a proven governor and military leader. He was charismatic, intelligent, and possessed a strategic mind far beyond his years. Al-Hajjaj spared no expense. He gave Ibn Qasim command of an elite force of 6,000 Syrian cavalry, the backbone of the Umayyad army. This was supplemented by another 6,000 camel riders and a baggage train of 3,000 Bactrian camels to carry supplies and siege equipment through the harsh Makran desert. Most impressively, he also dispatched a naval fleet carrying 5 massive catapults, including one so large it was nicknamed Al-Ruz, or the Bride, and required 500 men to operate. This was a force built for conquest. In 711 AD, the same year the Arabs were invading Spain on the other side of the world, Muhammad ibn Qasim began his march. His first target was the port city of Dabal, the very place where the pirate incident had occurred. Dabal was heavily fortified, protected by high walls and a large temple with a towering red flag. The local population believed that as long as the flag flew, the city could not be taken. The siege began. For days, the Arab forces battered the city walls with their catapults, but the defenders held firm. Ibn Qasim realized he needed to break their morale. He turned his attention to the temple flag. He repositioned the Bride and, after a few carefully aimed shots, the giant catapult stone struck the flagpole, shattering it and bringing the sacred banner crashing to the ground. Panic erupted within the city. Seeing their symbol of invincibility destroyed, the defenders' will to fight crumbled. Ibn Qasim ordered a general assault, and his soldiers stormed the walls, overwhelming the demoralized garrison. The city of Dabal fell. From Dabal, Ibn Qasim moved inland, employing a clever mix of military force and diplomacy. He offered terms to the cities he approached: accept Muslim rule, pay the jizya tax, and retain your property and freedom of worship, or face the might of his army. Many towns and cities, particularly those with large Buddhist populations who resented Raja Dahir's rule, chose to surrender peacefully. He established administrative systems in the conquered territories, ensuring stability and a steady flow of revenue. He was not just a conqueror, he was a state builder. Raja Dahir, meanwhile, was finally mobilizing his massive army. He had underestimated the threat, believing this to be just another raid. Now, he gathered his forces, including dozens of war elephants, and prepared to confront the young Arab general. The two armies finally met near the banks of the Indus River, at the Battle of Auror, also known as the Battle of Auror. The battle raged for several days. Dahir's army was numerically superior, and his war elephants initially caused chaos in the Arab ranks. But Muhammad ibn Qasim was a cool-headed strategist. He ordered his archers to target the mahouts, the elephant riders. With their riders killed or wounded, the elephants, many of them now panicked and in pain, turned and stampeded back through Dahir's own lines, trampling his soldiers and shattering their formations. In the midst of the chaos, Raja Dahir fought bravely from his own magnificent white elephant. He was a conspicuous target. An Arab soldier managed to throw a spear that struck him, but he continued to fight. Then, a flaming arrow hit his howdah, the seat on his elephant, setting it ablaze. Forced to dismount, he was surrounded by Arab soldiers and, after a fierce fight, was slain. The death of the king was the final blow. The Sindhi army broke and fled. The battle was a decisive victory for Muhammad ibn Qasim. The path to the rest of Sindh was now open. Following the victory, ibn Qasim marched on the capital Auror. which surrendered without a fight. He then continued his campaign, securing the major city of Multan, known as the City of Gold for its immense wealth and famous Sun Temple. Within 3 years, the 17-year-old general had conquered the entirety of Sindh, a feat that had eluded the caliphate for decades. His administration of the new province was remarkably tolerant for its time. He designated Hindus and Buddhists as dhimmis or protected people, granting them religious freedom in exchange for the jizya tax. He retained many local officials and respected local customs, which helped to pacify the region and integrate it into the caliphate. But Muhammad ibn Qasim's story ends in tragedy. Back in Damascus, his patron and uncle al-Hajjaj died. Soon after, the Caliph al-Walid also passed away and was succeeded by his brother Sulayman, who was a bitter political rival of al-Hajjaj's family. Seeking to purge his predecessor's loyalists, Sulayman recalled Muhammad ibn Qasim from Sindh, accused of various trumped-up charges. The brilliant young general was imprisoned and, according to most accounts, tortured to death. The conqueror of Sindh, who had expanded the empire and shown such promise, was cut down in his prime by political intrigue, a fate as dramatic as his meteoric rise. The Arab conquest of Sindh had a profound and lasting impact. It marked the first major Islamic foothold in the Indian subcontinent, opening a corridor for cultural, religious, and intellectual exchange between the Islamic world and India. Indian advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine flowed westward, while Islamic culture began to take root in the soil of South Asia. Although Arab rule in Sindh eventually weakened and fragmented, the legacy of this conquest endured. It set the stage for subsequent waves of Muslim conquerors and laid the foundations for the rich, complex, and diverse tapestry of cultures that defines Pakistan and northern India today. It's a powerful reminder of how a single event, triggered by an act of piracy and led by a teenage general, can reshape the destiny of a subcontinent. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into history fascinating, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. We'll see you next time.